An introductory audiobook on focus, intention, and mind-body influence. Open a disclaimer. This audiobook is a training guide for focus, visualization, and intentional awareness. The exercises you will hear are designed to develop concentration, imagination, and subtle body-mind coordination. Results vary from person to person. Nothing here replaces science, medical advice, or physical laws. Approach this material with curiosity, patience, and grounded awareness. Now let's begin. Chapter 1, the foundation of intention. Before anything moves in the world, something moves in the mind. Telekinesis at its most basic level begins with attention. Attention is energy directed with purpose. Close your eyes gently. Notice that your thoughts already influence your body. When you imagine biting a lemon, your mouth reacts. When you remember a stressful moment, your muscles respond. This tells us something important. The mind already moves matter, starting with your own. This training begins there. Chapter 2. Preparing the body and space. Sit comfortably with your spine upright but relaxed. Your feet are flat on the ground and your legs are crossed naturally. Rest your hands loosely on your thighs or on a table. Take a slow breath in through your nose. Hold for a brief moment. Exhale gently through your mouth. Again. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Let the muscles of your face soften. Let your shoulders drop. The body must be calm for intention to become precise.
The core operating principle. Your brain is an electrochemical machine. Thoughts correlate with measurable changes in breathing, muscle tension, micro movements, posture, and heat. These exercises train awareness and precision in those signals. People historically labeled this telekinesis. Modern language calls it neurofeedback, ideomotor response, and attentional control. Same engine, different branding. Exercise 1, the still object protocol. This is about focus without strain. Place a very light object in front of you, a piece of paper, a feather, or a folded tissue. Sit comfortably, breathe slowly through the nose, eyes relaxed, not locked. Now the rule, do not try to move it. Instead, imagine the idea of movement like remembering how it looked the last time it moved. You're training non-forceful attention. When people try, they introduce tension and micro movements. When they imagine, the body relaxes. Isometric, calmer breathing, reduced blinking, steadier posture, that's progress. Exercise 2. Peripheral vision expansion. Telekinesis myths often confuse expanded perception with force. Sit still, pick a point straight ahead without moving your eyes. Become aware of what exists at the far left and right edges of your vision. Don't name objects. Just notice light, motion, contrast. This trains the brain's global awareness mode. Instead of tunnel-focused athletes, snipers, and meditators use this exact skill, the nervous system becomes quieter, more sensitive. That sensitivity is the prerequisite for any subtle interaction, physical or psychological. Exercise 3, breath post-synchronization. Your breath is the steering wheel of your nervous system. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 2, exhale for 6 as you exhale. Imagine a pulse moving outward, not as power, but as release. The key word here is coherence. Heart rate, breath, and attention begin to sync. This state is measurable in labs and used in biofeedback training. Old text called this projecting intent. Modern science calls it autonomic regulation. Same movie, new subtitles. Exercise 4, the micro movement awareness drill. Here's where honesty matters. Hold your hand palm down over a table. Stay perfectly still. Watch closely. You'll notice tiny involuntary movements. Millimeters at most. These come from muscle tone changes linked to thought and breath. Most Telekinesis demonstrations are exaggerated versions of this effect combined with light objects. The value of this exercise is not the illusion, it's self-awareness. When you can feel these micro signals, you gain control over larger actions, speech, posture, reaction time, emotional restraint. That's real power. Exercise 5, intention without attachment. This one is philosophical and practical. Set an intention, clarity, calm, precision, not an outcome. Then release it, no checking, no forcing. This trains the brain away from compulsive feedback loops. Ironically, performance improves when obsession drops. Elite performers know this. Mystics describe it poetically. Corporate psychology calls it non-attachment outcome. Hard truth, no sugarcoating. There is no credible evidence that humans can move objects with the mind alone under controlled conditions. Anyone selling that claim is selling theater. What is real and valuable is the ability to regulate your nervous system, sharpen attention, influence your own physiology, affect other people to presence, calm and clarity, operate instead of react. That's the grown-up version of mind over matter. Phase 2 operating rule. Effort kills signal, relaxing amplifies it. Any exercise that produces strain is noise, not power. Exercise 6. The quiet command drill. Sit upright, spine tall, but not rigid hands resting. Bring attention to the area just behind the forehead, not pressure, just awareness. Breathe naturally when a thought appears. Don't fight it, label it once. Thought, let it pass. Return to neutral. This builds executive override. The ability to observe impulses without obeying them. CEOs, fighter pilots, and surgeons, all trained versions of this. Ancient systems dramatized in modern neuroscience, just shrugs and measures it. Result metric. Longer gaps between thoughts, slower internal chatter, steadier pulse. Exercise 7. Heat and sensation localization. Rub your hands together for 10 seconds. Stop, separate them slowly. Notice tingling, warmth, pressure, or magnetic-like sensation. Now place attention only in the right hand and only in the left, then both. You are not creating energy. You're learning sensory amplification. The brain's ability to upregulate perception in specific body regions. This is documented in pain management, physical rehab, and elite medicine research. Control of sensation precedes control of reaction.
Suspend the needle on a thread under a glass cup. Let it settle completely. Now observe your breath, the temperature of the room, subtle air currents. Then return attention to your breath. Only you will notice the needle respond slightly over time, not to your mind, but to micro-environmental shifts you're now aware of. The lesson isn't I moved it. The lesson is I can perceive variables I used to ignore. That's how real influence begins, awareness before action. Exercise 9, intentional stillness under distraction. Turn on background noise, TV, music, traffic sounds. Sit and keep your breath slow and even let sounds pass through without labeling them when the body wants to react. Scratch, shift, adjust. Pause one full breath before moving. This builds delay authority. The ability to not immediately respond is a superpower in negotiations, conflict, parenting, and leadership. People who appear unshakable aren't numb, they're trained. Exercise 10. The influence field. Stand or sit in a room with others present. Don't stare, don't posture. Slow your breathing slightly below average. Relax your shoulders. Keep peripheral vision open. Speak less than usual. You'll notice something subtle others unconsciously adjust. Slower speech, reduce tension, fewer interruptions. This is nervous system entrainment, not magic. Humans sync to the calmest coherent signal in the room. This is the closest real-world equivalent to what folklore called projecting will. Reality check. No one is throwing objects across rooms with their mind, but people absolutely shape environments, rooms, outcomes, and other people through regulated presence, attention, and restraint. That's the kind of telekinesis that closes deals, de-escalates chaos, commands respect without volume, keeps you unmovable when others wobble. Flashy myths sell quiet mastery wins. Phase 3 operating law. Force creates resistance. Timing creates inevitability. Most people fail not because they lack intent, but because they deploy it at the wrong moment with the wrong internal state. Exercise 11, intention stacking. You already learned to set intention without attachment, now we layer it. Choose one internal state only, calm, clarity, steadiness. Sit quietly and let that state stabilize. When it feels neutral and natural, add a second intention, alertness, then a third, patience. If tension appears, you stack too fast, back off. This trains multivariable control. The brain learns to hold several conditions without collapse. Executives do this unconsciously. Athletes train it explicitly. Mystics talked about holding many flames. Same skill, metric, fewer emotional spikes during the day, faster recovery when disrupted. Exercise 12, visualization with anchoring. Visualization alone is fantasy. Anchoring makes it operational. Pick a simple image, yourself walking calmly into a room. No drama, no outcomes, just posture, breath, pace. While visualizing, lightly press your thumb and forefinger together. Breathe slowly. Repeat this pairing daily. Over time, the physical gesture becomes a neurological shortcut. When you press the fingers in real life, the body recalls the calm state automatically. This is standard conditioning psychology. Old schools wrapped it in symbolism. Corporate trainers call it state anchoring. Result, composure on demand. Exercise 13, the pause advantage. Here's a brutal truth. Speed is overrated. In conversation, when someone finishes speaking, wait half a second before responding. Not awkward, just enough to breathe. This pause does 3 things. Lowers your heart rate, signals confidence, forces others to fill silence or recalibrate. People interpret this as authority. They don't know why, neither did ancient storytellers, but they notice the effect. This is influence without words. Exercise 14, non-visual sensing. Close your eyes, sit still. Notice sound direction, temperature gradients, pressure changes, your own pulse. Do not label, just register. This sharpens interoception. The brain's internal sensing network, high interoception, correlates strongly with emotional control, intuition, accuracy, and leadership presence. Folklore called this feeling the unseen. Science calls it a well-mapped neural system. Train it. Exercise 15, the release paradox. This is the most counterintuitive drill. Set an intention, clarity in a meeting, calm during stress, patience with someone difficult, then deliberately stop thinking about it. When the mind reaches for it again, gently disengage. What happens? The subconscious executes better without micromanagement. This is documented in performance psychology and motor learning. Trying harder often degrades performance. Letting go improves it. Ancient language mystified this. The mechanism is mundane and powerful. Just couldn't lever doing it. Powerful.